Yo.
Woo.
What up, Beaners?
Hey.
What up, Ehsan?
What's up?
Yo, did you watch it?
I watched it.
Small Soldiers.
Oh, man. Funny movie.
Funny?
Because everything is just so ridiculous. You have to,
It's a movie about war.
It's
funny to you?
Is it about war?
Kind of.
A little bit.
We are the Gorgonites.
Yeah. You know what I wish they did?
What?
I wish they actually you sort of meet the Gorgonites, but and in the fight they do some wild shit. And
Yeah.
it's I wish we actually got to know the Gorgonites.
We have no idea. They're clearly very interesting characters.
Yeah,
as well.
they're mad interesting. Their whole fate is to lose, and they're fine with that.
They were so focused on the war guy stories.
Yeah. Which not even. We kind of knew what each guy did. They could have used less war guys.
Yeah,
They could have been 3 war guys, and we know what they're like, because that would have been funny to see the war guys interact if they're all different. They're all the same.
Yeah, they're all war.
Yeah, they're all just a different flavor of Tommy Lee Jones. Yeah, I mean, one was Tommy Lee Jones, and one was Tommy Lee Jones Zero, and one was Tommy Lee Jones Diet.
Yeah.
And one was Tommy Lee Jones Code Red or whatever. They were just these flavors of the same shit.
Yeah.
And then the Gorgonites would, oh man, yeah, that's what I wish they did.
Yeah, the Gorgonites were interesting.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, they really were. And they looked weird.
Yeah, with the werewolf with the bow and arrow.
Yeah, they had the Monsters Inc. kind of looking guy.
The Monsters Inc. guy.
Yeah, and they had weird voices.
Yeah, they did.
And they could learn.
They were, yeah.
Yeah.
They were peaceful. They were very interesting.
Yeah, and we didn't really learn much about them. It was more about them just getting murdered almost.
All right, so what did I hit? Not hit. What did I get? What did I miss?
I think you missed did you talk about my favorite part of the movie is when Phil Hartman surrenders. Did you talk about that?
Where he walks out?
With his underwear? On a stick?
I say he walked. I forgot it was his underwear.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was on. Now that I'm looking back, I was I'm pretty
I think
sure.
it was his underwear.
Right?
Yeah.
That's something silly that Phil Hartman
Is that
would
my
do.
JVC? That's the only, I remember saying that.
Because that was so funny to me. It's okay, you're gonna try negotiating with these things now.
First off, toys.
Toys. Now. They've stolen a truck. They've built killing machines.
An army.
Yeah. I can't believe they didn't die. Also, I can't believe it took the police to get there that long.
Yeah, it took
They had a whole full-scale battle.
There was literal gunshots going on.
Yeah.
Grenades went off.
Yeah.
Chainsaws were
Yeah.
involved.
Yeah.
Flamethrower. Yeah, everything's on fire. They were shooting fireballs.
Yeah. Fire tennis balls. That was also funny. Did you talk about the mom hitting the tennis balls back?
I think I did. I thought I did.
I don't think you did. Oh, you know what's funny? So we were talking. Gabe, our sound engineer, was telling us how he watched this movie a bunch and then couldn't remember a thing.
Yeah.
And yeah, I get that.
Yeah, it's not. It doesn't stick with you.
No.
Doesn't have that.
No, none of the action scenes are that over the top. Things are on fire, but things should explode more. If you're gonna make it this silly, it was weird that the action scenes were more over the top.
Yeah.
You could have had Phil Hartman dress up like Rambo or stupid shit like that.
Yeah, they could have just used Phil Hartman more, is what you're saying.
Yeah, there's also a gross misuse of Phil Hartman or an underuse because he killed every scene that he was.
Yeah,
in.
he killed everything.
Yeah, but and he was clearly the funniest one. His wife was useless. His wife was so fucking useless.
Yeah.
Yeah, get it together. Everyone is dealing. Your daughter just got kidnapped by her own dolls, and she's dealing with it pretty good. They didn't do anything. They just knocked her out.
They did.
With a drink. They catapulted sleeping pills into her drink. Yeah, which was insane. They were so precise, except when it came to killing.
Yeah.
All their shots were off.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think that would have, amped this movie up to R.
Yeah.
If they'd actually murdered human beings.
Yeah, well, yeah, I guess I'm glad they didn't do that, because then it would have been oh, you're taking yourself a little too seriously. Small soldiers. Fucking relax.
Yo, if they'd have killed
someone, that would have been great if they had killed.
I'd have been this movie's amazing.
Yeah, this movie turned up. Also, it's just the choices that everyone makes are so funny.
Yeah.
You either give Jay Moore is spineless, and David Cross is a massive pussy, and then you give them the entire military arsenal to pick from.
Yeah.
Right?
You just let them decide. You just let them go through
with no oversight.
What? What? They were looking at it like it was Amazon Prime. What? Military chips.
Do I get to pick from?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here.
That was funny. What? You know what? This is like, I put this in the same category as 21.
Yeah.
Of
I see that.
It would have been so much better if the lead actor was charismatic.
Kevin Spacey? Oh.
No. If Kevin Spacey was the villain, that's the only person I can imagine doing it better than Tommy Lee Jones.
Tommy Lee Jones. Yeah, he did a good job.
Yeah. Like, I think this is a theme that comes up in this podcast. Kevin Spacey, best villain. And sometimes art and reality are like that. But
Ehsan Ahmad killing it today.
Yeah, the guy, because I get what character they're trying to get. He was trying to sort of being mischievous. He wanted the mischievous bad boy, but like not cool bad boy.
Yeah.
He was like a bad boy, but like only cool if you get to know him. Like I saw what they were going.
Yeah.
I saw what they're going for, but they just picked the most, just this wooden, hey, he's so whiny white kid.
You're so whiny.
Yeah.
Just whiny town, man.
Yeah.
Just whiny fucking whiny face. I hate it. Like what little kids whine, but not to that extreme.
Well, you know what's interesting is like whenever I go into an audition now, people tell me, "Oh, make a choice."
Yeah.
But what that taught me is like, oh, if you don't make a choice, you can star in Small Soldiers. You can just not make choices. You can just say the lines. If they ever make a reboot, I'm primed for that. I can play the main guy.
Yeah.
I can just not make a choice.
Not make any choices. Not make any emotional decisions.
Yeah. How funny would it be if he was like shocked that his toys were talking? It would have been really funny if he was like shocked but still interacting with them.
Yeah, no. But no, he was more
But he was like,
shut up.
Yeah.
My dad. Yo, dude, your toys are talking to you. He should have had a friend who was like snapping him into it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like a Little Rail and Get Out kind of situation.
Just someone
like
be like,
a side friend.
This is what's happening.
Yeah, bro. Come on. Hey. Like, my God, bro. Your toys.
Are fucking sentient. Also, I thought it was really... it's sentient things. Also, the government's entire reason for not wanting these chips that bring machines to life was that they couldn't survive a nuclear blast.
Nuclear blast.
What?
You know.
Like nothing? Like nothing. What are you talking about?
Well, cockroaches.
I guess.
You don't want cockroaches.
Weaponized cockroaches.
Yeah, you don't want to deal with that.
Yeah.
So
it was just I wish he was like, oh my God, my toys are alive. Oh, this is what I thought was really funny. So when they first get the toys, the first thing he does is they say, halt, who goes there? And what's the other thing they say? To the tent hut?
Talking about the soldiers, they say, halt, who goes there?
Halt, who goes there? And then, no.
Wait, talking about the toy? Like what you say to the toy?
Okay, wait, let me back up. My brain is going too fast.
Yeah.
All right. So when him and the delivery guy first unpackage the toys, they each say something that turns the toys on.
Yeah.
What do they say again?
They say, halt, who goes there?
Yeah. And then they say that to the Gorgonites.
No, they say that to the soldier toy.
What do they say to the Gorgonites? No, they say halt, who goes here to the Gorgonites, and they say something else. They say like a 10 hut or something like that.
Something like that. I don't remember.
See, you can't. This is an unmemorable movie. You just can't remember the goddamn
Small
movie.
Soldiers, I'm trying to help you.
You can't remember it. This is proving your
I've
point.
seen it a million times.
Yeah.
I watched it.
But what I'm about to say is, no one says that to a toy.
Halt, who goes there?
Yeah, no, that's not like, this is the first thing I'm gonna say. And you know what's funny? You know what would be a great scene in the movie? If he's just playing with the toys and he says those things naturally and then the toys turn on. Oh, wow, the toys are alive.
Yeah.
Very simple rewrite. Instead of being this weird businessman who makes shady deals with kids.
You talking about the driver?
The driver, yeah. What are you talking about? You making a deal with this 12-year-old?
Yeah. You know the dad, bro.
Yeah.
Talking about how you're going to lose your wife and shit?
Yeah.
Why'd you do it then?
That's why you're going to lose your wife. You went into business with a 7th grader who also fucked him. He didn't pay him back.
Didn't pay him back.
No.
He also didn't care about sentient life. And
no one cares. No one cared that the toys were alive. They all kind of accepted it.
Yeah, throughout, like no one throughout the whole movie were like, yo, hey, wait a minute. These toys are making decisions.
Yeah.
Like conscious, like decisions.
Yeah. No, also like they're talking about this deep philosophical point of like, oh, we're just meant to lose. Like you understand that? You understand that concept? That's That's insane.
You understand the concept of purpose?
Yeah,
Like,
you understand your purpose. You understand, like, most humans don't do that.
Yeah, no, fuck that. I gotta do my homework. Yeah, my dad, he doesn't talk to me enough. Get the fuck out of here, dog.
Small soldiers, everybody.
Small soldiers. Yo.
Hey.
What up?
What's up?
You guys ready?
All right, what are we doing this week?
Ehsan, you ready?
Yeah.
Ehsan, what happens in the movie
Yeah.
The Nutty Professor?
All right, this is gonna be good. I get to see you do Eddie Murphy a bunch of times. I know that. I know Eddie Murphy's in this a lot. He's multiple people, as Eddie Murphy does.
Okay.
That's like his thing. What happens?
What happened? What? Because I know everyone knows about Eddie Murphy's The Nutty Professor. It's one of the big movies.
Yeah.
But Ehsan, what happens in The Nutty Professor?
Deric, clearly, Eddie Murphy, plays this nutty professor.
Okay. You have no idea.
I have no idea.
Come on, give it to me, bro.
Okay.
Your guesses are the best.
He is a professor at a school.
Okay.
Who, kind of stupid. The stupid dude. Fat. He's fat.
He's fat.
He's definitely
stupid.
fat, dumb, but he means well.
I mean, he has a good heart.
He has a good heart.
Okay.
And he gets fired from his first school at the beginning of the movie for, letting an experiment get out of a hand.
Professors always do that.
Yeah, he just lets it get out of hand, and he probably has a pratfall where he falls and stuff. So he's gotta move back home.
Oh, they always move. Yeah.
Yeah.
God, you nailed it. You're nailing it. Yeah.
He has to move back home, and then he meets his family, which is also all Eddie Murphy. An all Eddie Murphy family, and they're all just kind of they're all not. He's the stupidest one, and they give him shit. And
I like that.
He's the stupidest one, and they give him shit, and they don't believe in him. And he takes a job at a local school, community college.
Oh, you're nailing. Okay, keep going.
God,
Holy shit! But this is actually a really good movie.
And then the local school. It's a school, maybe not a community college, but a school. But the dean there is wants to shut it down. Evil dude. But the Nutty Professor helps kids learn and saves the school.
New comedy.
Yeah. Ta-da!
The Nutty Professor.
And they get their test grades up.
Oh, dude.
It's not what happens in the movie at all.
No, it's pretty good.
No way.
Why would you think that? Why would you think that?
Because there's no way the plot isn't something way stupider than that. There's no way. There's no way. As I was saying it, I was like, this is not happening. No way. The plot has to be dumber than this.
Or is it better? That's the thing. That's the thing you don't know. Or is it better? Because this is one of my favorite comedies.
Okay. Well, I'm assuming it's better than what I just said. Yeah. All right. How do we begin?
The movie starts
Yes.
with the song Macho, Macho Man. I've got to be a macho man. That's just blasting. Okay.
Okay.
So that's getting you in the theme of this.
Yeah, I'm getting hyped for this.
Getting hyped. You're getting hyped. And then you hear a, hey. And then you hear a guy go, let's sweat. Macho, macho man. And it's Eddie Murphy. And he's dressed up. It's Eddie Murphy, but he's all in whiteface. And he's doing Richard Simmons. Like a spot-on Richard Simmons, dog. Not playing.
Really?
It's so good.
In whiteface.
In full whiteface.
That's
full
funny.
whiteface.
That's funny.
And then he goes, that's right, shake it, honey. I'm a pony. I'm a pony. Don't you feel like a pony when you sweat? And he's just doing all this shit. So he's killing it.
Eddie Murphy is funny.
Oh, man, so funny. Macho Man just blasting in the background, right? And then it pans out, and it's a workout video.
Right.
That's playing.
Okay.
All right? And it's you see a big fat guy getting dressed in the morning.
Okay.
While the credits are rolling, right? And that song, Macho Man's still playing, right? And it's clearly a professor because he's putting like suspenders on and like pins in his pocket. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They don't let you see his face, and he's fat. He's crazy fat.
Okay.
So he's doing all this shit, and then Nutty Professor comes across the screen.
All right. We're ready to go.
So you're pretty accurate so far.
I mean, shut up. Okay. Next time I'll remember the white face. I'm gonna add that to another one of my predictions later.
Because sometimes, I know you will.
Yeah.
So he goes to. So they cut to there at a college, and a white guy is like giving a tour to all these like kind of rich white people at this college.
Okay.
And mischievous kind of music starts playing, like dun, 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 like that kind of shit. Ooh. And a hamster crawls out of a vent. Right?
Okay, wasn't expecting that.
I know you weren't. And it crawls out the vent and it goes right up a dude's leg. Like right up a dude's leg. But he doesn't notice, and then it comes like into his crotch region.
Yeah.
And then the girl like looks down and notices it, and she's like, he's got a big boner.
A big moving boner.
It's moving like this.
Like a rudder.
He's got one of those runner boners.
Yeah, he's got one. He's a boner that can steer him.
So like, it shows like the main doors to the school get open, and then just hamsters. Millions and millions of hamsters, bro. Hamsters everywhere.
Yeah.
Hamsters all over the school, all over the class. People start freaking out. People cars are crashing into each other.
Cars are crashing into each other.
Of course, there's hamsters all over the street now. There's hamsters all over the lawn now. Dude, millions of hamsters.
Really?
Hamsters.
Okay.
Like Theo Von's joke. That many hamsters.
Oh my God, okay.
Shout out to Theo. Fucking hamsters everywhere.
Yeah.
So it cuts to like the principal, and it's Larry Miller.
Larry Miller.
White dude, comedian. He's in a bunch of shit. He's always funny guy. He's always funny dude. He's always that usually angry kind of guy too.
Okay.
But he's funny.
I would recognize him.
When you see it, you're going to be like, oh, Larry Miller. That's how you're going to say it.
Larry Miller or Dennis Miller?
Larry Miller. I had to look it up.
Okay.
Maybe it was Dennis, but it's Larry. Pretty sure it's Larry. It's not Dennis. Dennis is a different white dude.
Okay, as long as you know who Dennis Miller is.
Yeah, different white guy.
Okay.
He's the white dude that's not Larry Miller.
I'll just shift to other white guy in my mind. All right, I got it.
You got him?
I got him.
So it cuts to him, and there's like a hamster on his head, and he's like the dean of the school, right? Mm-hmm. And then he's like, get me Professor Clump now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's mad. He's upset. This is cool. A lot of hamsters.
Yeah, you can't have all those hamsters, man.
Not running around. So we see the professor walking in, and he's a huge fat guy, and it's Eddie Murphy.
Yeah.
And he's just the fattest dude. The fat suit is so ridiculous.
Yeah, I remember seeing the fat suit in like DVD covers and shit.
Oh God, he's just crazy huge, man. And he's walking up to the school, and then he's noticing the disaster, just hamsters everywhere, and he's just like flabbergasted, you know what I'm saying? And there's like a guy cutting up on a lawnmower, and then like hamsters are shooting out. And one like catches a lady right in the mouth. One goes right into a lady's sandwich, like right as she's eating it. Like, you know what I mean?
Like a
hamster,
but a lawnmower,
alive. Not a leaf blower.
Okay. I was
looked like a t-shirt can for hamsters.
Okay, lawnmower was way darker.
Yeah, it's a different tone.
Yeah, I was like, oh, we're starting this movie off turned up.
This was a kids movie, by the way.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say that now.
Okay.
This was a kids movie.
Okay.
But a lot of shit you're gonna be like, Deric, are you sure this is a kids movie? And I'm gonna be like, bro, I saw it as a kid, and I remember it being a kids movie.
That's funny.
But know that now.
Okay. Quick side fact: my roommate one of my roommates, our friends in college, had a hamster named Rajesh, and I just think that's the funniest hamster name. To name a hamster an Indian name, that's fucking A1 comedy right there.
Was he Indian?
No, he was a white guy.
Yeah, that's better.
Yeah, that makes it funnier.
So,
all right.
He's freaking out.
Just a bunch of Rajeshes everywhere.
Rajeshes all over the place.
Yeah.
And he goes in to talk to his like white assistant dude, and you don't recognize who this is actor, but he looks kind of like Howard Stern in the face.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? That's who the nigga look like.
Okay.
And he asks, like, he's like, what? He's like, Professor, what happened last night? Did you lock it up? Did you lock up when you left? And then the professor's like, yeah. And he tells him everything he did. Like, I did this, I did that. And then I locked up, right when I left, then I locked up. And then I turned to the right. And then when he turns to the right, his fat ass like hitches the switch. And then all the hamsters get let loose again. And so all the people are putting their hands freaking out. And then he's like, oh God. And so then the assistant tells him like, well, all the hamsters got out except for Shelly. Shelly didn't get out. He's like, your hamster. And he's like, oh, that's good. Shelly didn't get out. And so he goes over to this other hamster, Shelly, and it's the
fattest hamster.
It's pretty much him. It's just him. It's like literally like this. It's like sitting like this.
It can't move.
It's
okay.
And then he's like, oh, Shelly, and he's like feeding her. And then they're talking about how Shelly lost 20% of her body fat in a day, giving her the serum that they're working on in her food.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like, oh, it worked. Oh my God. And they're freaking out and congratulating each other that it worked. She lost 20% of her body fat. And that and the assistant's like, should we up the doses to see if she can lose it more? And he's like, no, we don't want to hurt Shelly.
Right.
We got to we'll keep doing it like this. And we possibly have cured the disease of fatness.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
That's the thing. Now you know what this movie's about.
Like
you were leaning more on the professor thing.
Yeah.
Not enough on the fat thing.
Yeah, clearly I wasn't going to get it right. There's no way.
You were close. You just leaned on the wrong thing.
That's fair.
That's all.
Fair. This hamster thing is someone falling over, him falling over, whatever the fuck.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
So then he says, well, by the way, I'm late. And he's like, but I think we cured it. And he's like, I got to scurry off for class. And he's running off. And then right before he leaves for class.
His run is funny.
Right before he leaves, though, he says, he looks back at the team and he's like, he's like, come on, guys, let's keep on working. Let's keep doing what we're doing. And let's get busy. And then he turns again and he hits the switch again with his hands. And then all the hamsters come out. And then he runs all funny to the thing. So, yeah, he's kind of dumb.
Yeah, it sounds like it.
Mm-hmm. So,
man,
he goes
very hamster heavy opening.
Scene. Yeah, you weren't. Oh, we're not done.
Yeah, I figured like, oh, this is about to be way more hamsters in this movie than I anticipated.
Of course.
Yeah.
Should have been on the cover with them.
It's like that. The hamsters are pretty much a main character.
So he goes to see
like
Dean.
They're the third lead.
I'm not saying nothing else.
It's just Rajesh.
He goes to see Dean Richmond.
Okay.
And he's just too fat to sit in the chair. There's like a funny sequence of him trying to get in the chair. Mm-hmm. And then finally the dean goes, anything I can get for you? Juice, coffee, rack of lamb. And then because he's fat.
Okay.
And he goes, no, sir, I'm fine. And then the dean stares at him for a while, just pissed. And he goes, did you need anything from me, sir? And he goes, let me answer your question with another question, Professor Clump. Why are you trying to destroy my school? And he's like, and he tells him how, he wasn't really trying to do that, and it was just like the hamster thing was an accident. I'm sorry about it. And then he goes, do you know this woman? The dean goes, do you know a certain one? He says a long name. And then he goes, oh yeah, that's the woman who donates a lot of money to our science program. Very generous lady. And he goes, not anymore. You know why, Professor Clump? He's like, because she's right now, she's in the hospital trying to get a hamster removed from her throat. So, something like that. And he's like, oh, okay. And so he's trying to he starts yelling at him and going off on him, right? And then as he's doing this, Professor Clump looks up and notices there's a hamster on the ceiling. You thought I told you, bro.
I jumped the gun on the hamster comment. My God.
I was like, bro, we're not even close to There's a hamster on the ceiling.
Yeah.
It's so stupid. And it's we're on that thing where that would be a thing.
Okay.
And it's pooping in his coffee. The dean doesn't notice it. Clump is noticing. It's pooping in his coffee.
It's a good poop joke.
Good poop joke.
Good poop joke.
I love some poop, man. There's a lot of poop in this.
I imagine. It's about a fat dude. And now the whole point is him not being fat. So he's gonna poop some of this weight away.
So he's focusing on the poop. Clump is like, oh no, there's pooping, and then he's going off on him, and he's like, listen to me carefully, you fat tub of goo, and he's just talking bad to him.
Yeah, you know how you talk to your employees.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, yeah. And Clump noticed, he's yelling at him, and then he's telling him how this guy named Hartley is coming to visit soon, and they need him. They got to impress him because he's going to donate a $10 million grant to the school, and he needs to be on his P's and Q's, because we need Clump. He needs you to come through, Clump, to make sure we get this grant. He's like, I want that money, Clump. And then he kicks him out the office. And then right then, of course, Clump's like,
why not just fire him?
Because he needs him. He's a good scientist.
Oh, he's good at his job.
Yeah, he's very good at his job.
Okay.
So he's trying to he literally, in the scene, remember? He cured fatness in the scene before.
That's a good point.
That was a real scene.
Good point.
So he's telling him, get out of my office. And then Clump's like, oh, don't drink, because he's about to drink the coffee. He's like, oh, don't drink that coffee. And he's like, hey, Clump, remember when I told you to get out of my office? That was the last time you were supposed to speak. Now get your fat ass out of my office. You know what I mean? And he's like, okay. And he gets out, and then he drinks the coffee with all the poop in it. And he goes, he goes, my assistant, whoever his assistant is, he's like, the cream has turned. And he's like it's her fault. And then right then a hamster falls from the ceiling into his coffee. And then him and the hamster stare at each other
Oh, man. So much hamps. So much hamsters.
So next scene, the professor's teaching in class, and he's like writing something on the board, like it's like a big theorem, right? Mm-hmm. Like a big thing. And then he, as he's writing it all out, he's like also his stomach is so fat he's erasing everything he just wrote. That's so funny. He's writing this other stuff and he's erasing everything right here. Mm-hmm. And then the class is like laughing, right? And then he looks down. He's like, I must have messed myself, huh? And then, he fucking like the bell rings, and so all the students just leave. And he's like, oh, pop quiz! We have pop quiz tomorrow. Nobody's paying attention to him. Right. And so finally everybody leaves, and he kind of looks around, and he opens a drawer, and then he looks around again, and then like he opens another drawer under that drawer, and it's just like all candy.
I thought there's gonna be like a turkey.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
It's so much candy.
Yeah, it's just too much candy.
So much candy. And then he grabs like a king-size Snicker, and then he eats it, and like heaven music starts playing. And then he takes the wrapper and he does one of these and like tries to shoot it.
Yeah.
And it like misses. Right? And so he goes to reach for it, and then right then you hear somebody go, Professor Clump? Like a beautiful woman. And then he looks through his legs, and it's Jada Pinkett Smith.
What? She's back.
Well, I guess in this movie, she's arrived.
Oh, she's back for me. Yeah. I wasn't expecting her.
Oh, yeah. In my head, she's back.
Yeah, I was like, oh, man.
Well, in 96, he was more like she's there.
Yeah, I was like, oh, no, I thought Jada Pinkett Smith was actually like a bunch of hamsters as a person. So I was like, oh, she's back in the movie. We just
different form now.
Yeah. Yo, this must be, again, shout out to Theo, but this has to be his favorite movie.
So just because of all the hamsters?
Just because of all the hamsters.
Probably.
Yeah. If you haven't checked about 30-pound bag of hamster bones.
It's good stuff.
Yeah, on iTunes, I think.
I forgot Jada set it off.
Yeah.
I'm an idiot.
Yeah. This is my second time with Jada.
Yeah. She's back.
Hey, yeah, she's back.
She's the lead in this.
And she's also not a bunch of hamsters combined into a person.
Good for you, Jada. And you're good job on your kids. They're making music.
Well, I mean...
Now I forgot where we are.
They're killing it. Jada Pinkett Smith arrives. He's looking through his legs, which must be very funny.
He's looking through his legs.
I can't believe he's that limber.
Well, yeah. Yeah,
that's good limber
point.
As fuck.
Wow, good point. I just thought of that.
I have trouble doing that. I can't touch the floor like with, you know what I mean? I'm very unflexible, so I don't think I can do that.
And she goes like, I'm looking for Professor Clump. And he goes, I'm him. I'm Sherman Clump. And then his stomach knocks over all these M&Ms. So all these M&Ms go scattering all over the place. And then she says, hi, I'm Carla Purdy. And I'm a chemistry teacher across the way. And it's my first day. And I just had to come over and introduce myself because I'm a big fan. I've read all your books and all your like theories on this and that. And I had to come say something because I love all your work. And then he's like, oh, thank you. Well, I'm flattered, and she's like, oh, okay. And then she says, well, I'll be across the way. And then he goes, well, she's like, well, I hope to see you around. I hope to see you around. I'm such a big fan. And he's like, well, you can't miss me. He says something like that. And then she laughs. And then she walks away. And then he's kind of looking at her from the back. And she is bad, by the way.
Yeah, it's Jada Pinkett Smith.
She's bad. And he goes, now that's fine. She fine. He says that like to the camera.
Oh, he says it to the camera?
Like not to the camera, but like to out loud and like pretty much to the camera.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Okay. So this is not one of those movies where people just look at the camera and do.
Not yet.
Okay.
So you hear a big laugh, like the big Eddie Murphy laugh, right? And you see a house, and you hear somebody go, "Nothing like a family getting together for a dinner," and then it's the famous scene that everybody knows.
That I do not.
You don't know everybody around the table? They made fun of it in Tropic Thunder.
I know.
With Jack Black. Everybody's farting at the table.
I didn't know everyone was farting.
You seen Tropic Thunder?
Yes.
Okay.
But I forgot that.
Okay. It's in the credits where they're setting up the Jack Black character, like who he is. And it's like they're setting up who he is, and they're making fun of like a guy who dresses up as all these different people, and they're just farting.
Okay.
It's this scene.
Okay. Well, I wouldn't have got that back then.
I guess you wouldn't have.
Yeah.
But this is a very iconic scene because it just sums up a lot of comedy.
Everyone's just farting constantly.
It's very good fart jokes.
Okay. Okay. Top-notch fart jokes. There's a lot of good fat jokes too.
A lot of good fat jokes.
Yeah.
So this is where you see Eddie playing 6 different characters at a table, right?
That's impressive.
And he kills it too.
Yeah.
They're all ridiculously fat. He's the grandma. He's the mom and dad. Mm-hmm. He is the brother, and then
the professor.
Yeah, himself.
It's 5.
Oh, and then the 6th person I'm forgetting. He played the whatchamacall already. He was Richard Simmons already.
Oh, that character's back?
That character. Well, no. I'm thinking of who else he played because it says 7. Like, why am I thinking 7? It's like, because he's that character and then he's another character that's
later.
Yeah.
Okay.
So right now he's 6 different characters.
Okay.
He's been 6, but it's 5 at one table.
5 at one table, which must be ridiculous to film.
Dude, it's crazy. I don't know how they filmed it because they shot it so smoothly that you don't even notice it, bro. So they're all eating, and the mom's like, oh, Sherman, you don't spend time with the family anymore. She's talking like that. And then the grandma like starts coughing. And then the dad goes, oh, everybody cover your plates, right? And then she goes, the grandma goes, not tonight, Cletus. Not tonight, I'll kick your ass. This is a kid's movie. I'm gonna keep saying that.
Okay. So far it seems in the kid range. She just said ass.
Sherman cooked all the food. Like she goes, Sherman, I cooked all this food. That's all you gonna eat, baby? Because he had like a little bit on his plate.
Yeah.
And then he goes, I'm watching my calories, mama. And then the dad goes off about losing weight. It's like, oh, it's bullshit. That's a scam. Yeah, they just want you to lose weight. And then as he's saying all this shit, he's like pouring gravy and like putting more meat like on his plate. And his plate's just like huge.
Just ridiculous.
Yeah. And he's saying how like, we ain't all supposed to be small. We all supposed to be different sizes. It's supposed to be, this is big, there's small, there's midgets. Everybody's different. He goes, and he's like, look at Oprah and Luther Vandross. He's like, they used to be big, but then they lost all their weight, and now they're ashy and they look weird. Then he said, and now they're ashy
and they look weird. Also, that Oprah joke doesn't age well.
No, it doesn't.
Yeah.
So then the grandma is
I guess Luther Vandross ages really well.
I guess so.
Yeah, I mean, he's mad ashy now if you count like bones and shit.
He's dead.
Yeah. So, good job, Eddie.
The grandma goes on about daytime talk show hosts, like right when she says the Oprah thing, and she goes, "Oh, I love Oprah. I love a lot of the daytime talk show hosts. Like I like Montel, Ricky Lake." And then she goes, "Oh, Mike Douglas. Ooh, Mike Douglas. Now, Mike Douglas, that's the first white man ever get me moist. Mike Douglas.
Mike Douglas.
No, I don't know who Mike Douglas is.
Also, didn't you have a dog named Luther Vandross?
Yeah, well, I didn't have a dog. My auntie had a dog.
Okay, I didn't.
And
remember.
He's alive, and his name is Luther Vandross.
I remember meeting. This is the cutest little white dog.
Not white.
Is he white?
He's brown.
Oh, he's brown?
He's
cute,
just little.
Though. He's just cute.
Yeah.
Also, who's Mike Douglas?
I don't know.
Yeah.
But apparently it was a daytime talk show.
And the white guy. I remember Ricky Lake. She performed at the store.
Ricky Lake, I know Montel. I know the other names. Mm-hmm. So she's going off about all these people and talk about how wet they used to make her. And then
that's fair. Yeah, okay. This is a kid's movie.
Yeah, and then right then the dad was like, I would like to volunteer to take this old bird out of misery. And then she goes, Cletus. And then the mom goes like, Cletus, I would not have you talking to my mama like that. And then the mom goes, oh, you ain't gotta protect me from Cletus. No, come on, Cletus. No, come on, Cletus. She's like, ain't nothing but a short walk over from that table. Ain't nothing but a the girl. It's the president. Come on, Cletus. Come on. That's it. You gonna limp back. Hey, Cletus, you gonna walk over, but you're limping back. And he's just in like full grandma robe, bro.
Yeah.
It's crazy how much shit he's talking as the grandma.
That's funny.
So then the brother is telling him, like his fat brother next to him, telling him like, oh, you don't need to lose no weight. You got to work out like me. And he starts flexing. And then the other son, his son across the table starts flexing, like his son. And he's like, oh, and then the mom's like, oh, look at my baby flexing. Oh, Hercules. She starts doing all that shit, and they're just all being ridiculous.
Yeah, just being dumb.
Ridiculous scene, bro. Mm-hmm. So right then, the dad is telling him like, he's telling the dad like how his studies have shown that that science can like help us lose weight, and then the dad starts going off on him again. He's like, "Look, Dad, I'm just trying to say that science has been proven that we can all do something to be better." And then the mom goes, "Oh, you know what? Actually, Sherman, I've been reading something about colon cleanses. I was thinking about maybe even going to get my colon cleansed." And then the dad goes, "Colon cleanse? Shit, I'll clean my colon right now." And he just farts. And everybody like laughs at the table, right?
And so it begins.
Yeah, and then they start yelling at each other, right? Yeah. And the mom's like, don't be farting at my table. She's like, oh, fart, whatever. And he just starts farting like nonstop. And then the brother's laughing, the son is laughing, and then the son starts farting, right? And then the mom's like, oh, now you got my baby doing it. Oh, baby. And then everybody's just farting at the table. And then the one son's like, Daddy, you rotten. And then it fades to black. And that's
just
the scene.
A regular scene.
Yep. So
that's funny.
Yeah, he's sad. He's leaving, right? He's leaving and he's all sad. And then the mom comes up and says, "Oh, Sherman, come here, baby. You're special. Don't you remember that? You're a special baby, and you can do anything if you just believe in yourself." It's like one of those scenes.
Yeah.
And then he goes,
with the soft music playing in the background.
"Okay, thanks, Mom."
Yeah.
And she goes, "Oh, you're so handsome. Give me some sugar." And he kisses. And he's talking to himself, by the way.
Yeah,
about Eddie Murphy.
Yeah. I forget that.
Yeah,
in my mind, I thought they were different people, but I forget it's Eddie Murphy.
It's Eddie Murphy talking to Eddie Murphy.
You think you go a little bit crazy after doing all that?
Probably.
Right? There's no way that's good for your mind.
They did 2 of them.
Did they do more? Did they only do 2? I thought there was like 3.
No, they did 2. Okay. And then you're thinking of Norbit.
They did 3 Norbits?
No, there's another movie called Norbit.
Okay. No, I know.
Pretty much the third Nutty Professor.
I know Norbit.
Okay.
I haven't seen it, but I know of it. I know of Norbit.
So Sherman leaves and he leaves and he's confident now and he walks up to Jada Pinkett's house, right?
Okay.
And he convinces himself to ring the doorbell. He's like, "I'm gonna ring the doorbell." And then right as he goes up and he rings it, and then at the last second he kind of cowers away and he's like, "Ah," and then he goes to leave. But then she opens the door and catches him and she's like, "Professor?" And then he's like, "Oh, hey, Carla, you caught me in the middle of some step aerobics, 98, 99, 100. He's like, "All right." And then she's like, "Hey, can I help you with something, Professor? What are you doing here?" And then he goes, "Well, honestly, Miss Purdy, if you don't mind, I wonder if one night, if maybe you'd want to," and he's doing all that, and she goes, if you want to eat dinner and you didn't want to do it alone, and you got to eat, and she goes, "Professor, are you asking me out on a date?" And he goes, "Yes." And he puts his head down. She's like, "I'd love to." And he goes, "Oh, that'd be fantastic. You just name the place, name the time, and we'll be there." And she goes, "Well, my students tell me about this place called The Scream. Would you want to go there?" He's like, "Oh, The Scream." He's like, "I love The Scream." He's like, "I'll scream right now. I'm so happy."
Yeah.
And he's like doing all that. And she's like, "All right, well, how about Friday night at 8? He's like, "Friday night at 8? It sounds like a date. I'll be there. It's going to be a scream at The Scream." And then she's like, "All right, I'll see you there, Professor." And he closes the door and he's like, "Wow, Friday night. And he's dancing. He's like, "Friday night." And then he gets back to his place and he's like, "I got myself a date. Friday night at 8. And I will not be late."
He's very likable.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. She will be my mate. And that would be so great. A great. And he's like dancing around his apartment, right? And then he goes up and he's like, "Who am I gonna play?" And he's like, "Lionel, Al Green, Marvin Gaye." He's like, "Ooh, Teddy P." He's like, "Teddy P." And then he cuts on some Teddy P. He's like, "Yeah." And the song goes on. He's like, "Close the door." And then he starts singing it. "Let me give you what you've been waiting for." And he's like dancing like how Mel Gibson was kind of in that.
Right.
He's like doing that kind of scene around the apartment. "I've got so much love to give."
Oh, he's about to fall.
No, he's cooking a TV dinner.
Oh, okay.
And so he's cooking, he's singing, "And I've waited all day long." And he's singing to this TV dinner, And so he's like just dancing around. And then finally he like gets to one part where he's like, "You gotcha. And then right then his neighbor starts like banging from below. He's like, "Shut the fuck up." You know what I mean? Just shut the hell up, Clump. Oh my God. He's like, "Oh, sorry, Mr. George. Sorry about that. Got a date." He's very likable.
Yeah, Jesus.
So he's flipping through the channels, right? And it's all these people telling him how to lose weight, like those kind of, and then buy this, work out,
hydroxycut,
all that shit, right? And he gets to a beach and he stops and it's like a beach, and then he starts fantasizing of Jada Pinkett running on the beach, and then him running after her, and then she falls down and she's looking at him, and then he stands over top of her, and then he gets on top of her and they start making out like passionately, and then she starts sinking. Like through the sand, like quicksand.
Yeah.
And then he can't get her, and he's like, "Oh!" And then he wakes up.
Oh God, what a fucking nightmare! Good God,
something that feels really possible. And then right when he wakes up, it's the Richard Simmons, Eddie Murphy, and he's like, "Those pounds won't lose themselves. You gotta say, 'Yes, I can.' Say it, 'Yes, I can.'" And then he gets up, and he's like, "Yes, I can. Yes, I can." Right? And that song, "I'm so excited," starts playing, and a montage starts.
Ooh.
Ehsan loves him a montage.
Oh man, I'm so pumped.
I know, buddy.
You went singing into a montage? That's a high.
I'm so excited.
It's a high degree of difficulty.
I just can't. So he's in like jazzercise, and he's like trying to, it like shows him in that, and he's trying to jump rope, and he's getting acupuncture, and he's just sucking at all these things, right?
You suck at acupuncture.
Well, You'll see. So he's like, it shows him in the weight room and he's just breaking equipment because he's too fat.
Yeah.
And then it shows him getting more acupuncture and the guy is like, can you feel it now? And he's like, no. And then it shows him it shows a guy like doing a dumbbell and like next to him and then like he's doing it, but it's just a Snickers bar. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then it shows him getting more acupuncture and it's literally his entire body.
And he feels none of it.
And he's like, you feel it? And then the Asian guy's like, you need Jenny Craig.
Yeah, good product placement. Solid product placement.
Then the montage.
Also, bad Asian accent.
Very bad.
Yeah.
That's how he sounded, too.
Oh, okay. Oh.
You need a Jenny Craig.
It was that bad?
Pretty much.
All right, I'll remember that and I'll hold you to that.
Oh, you're going to remember the scene.
Yeah, I'll hold you to that.
It's the montage.
Yeah, well, it's the only things I remember sometimes.
Yeah. So, the montage keeps going and he starts getting good at everything. He starts killing it on the jump rope and on the speed bag. And then like he's killing it in jazzercise class and all the classmates start clapping for him.
Yeah.
And then he's running upstairs like on the school, like a Rocky kind of scene.
Yeah.
And he gets to the top and he's like, yeah, yeah. And he starts punching and all the students are kind of laughing at him and he's still like doing it. He's like, yeah, yeah, right?
Yeah.
And so that kind of fades out. And then you hear, this is how we do it.
Oh my god, okay. So
this is how we do it.
This movie's jumping, huh?
And then it cuts to, and they're at the Scream.
Yeah.
And it's a live performance, and it's Montel, the actual Montel, who actually sings that song, and he's actually performing that song. This is how we do it. It's Friday night.
Yeah.
Like he's doing his actual song in the movie.
Oh, that's so very Rocky IV. Montage into the actual guy singing the song.
The actual guy singing the fucking song.
Yeah.
So it cuts to them. Like,
is it way too long too? Do we see the whole song?
No. You see, you see the only part. This is how we do it.
Okay, we see the part that matters.
Yep, that's it. Yeah. And he's performing, and it shows them like walking through the club.
Wasn't expecting a Montel bomb in here.
I know you were not,
but it happened. It happened.
Oh, you do what? You're not. You have what is about to happen. You couldn't guess, and I'm so excited. This is my favorite part of the movie, by the way.
What's about
to happen is my favorite part of the movie.
Okay.
So Montel, he's singing. They're coming through the club, and like he's too fat, and he's knocking everybody over trying to get through. He's like, "Excuse me," trying to get through.
That voice is very funny.
What, his voice?
Yeah, this sounds like an old dad.
Yeah, well, I guess he's doing. I don't know. Eddie Murphy killed it. He does all different voices too. So they get to their seats, and then she's like, "Oh, Professor, these are great seats." And then he's like, "Oh, call me Sherman." And she's like, "Oh, well, I'm really glad we did this, Sherman." And then she puts her hand on his hand. And he's like, I'm glad we did this too, Miss Purdy. And they kind of smile at each other. And then it cuts back to Montel and he's singing another song. And he's like, summertime, funnertime. And he's like, I swear to God. And the only reason I'm doing that, because I was like, I bet you that was Montel's only other hit. Like, I bet you. No,
like that was
no offense, Montel.
That was number two.
That was probably your number two.
Yeah.
And you were like, yo, put that one in there. I'll do the movie, but you got to play Summertime, Funner Time.
Yeah.
That's what and then that's it. That's all you get, right? And then it ends immediately.
Oh, Montel.
And so they keep talking. It cuts back to them, and they're talking at the table, and they're kind of eating. And he's telling her about Shelly the hamster and how he altered her genes and possibly cured the fatness thing. And then she's like, "Oh my God, I'm so proud of you." And he's like, "Hey, we just we do what we do, and we got to just keep pushing, right?" And then she's like, "That's right, Professor." And they kind of laugh, and they're smiling at each other. Right then, Montel's going off stage. So it kind of fades back and Montel's leaving the stage. The host comes back out, and it's Doug Williams. I don't know if you've ever watched. He's not a comic. The only way you would know him is if you watch.
Jamie Foxx guy?
Yo, nigga, he's the nigga that Jamie Foxx. I'm sorry to bring this up. I'm sure you don't like this, Doug.
Who clearly a big fan of this podcast. Doug Williams.
Yeah. God, Jamie Foxx murdered you. So
ended his career.
What? He was in this. This was before that.
Well, yeah.
So he's in this.
If any of you haven't seen it, look up Jamie Foxx, Doug Williams. I think it's the roast of Emmett Smith.
Oh yeah, just look up Doug Williams. That's all you got to type in. It'll come up.
Yeah.
So he comes out and he's the host and he's like, "Ladies and gentlemen, you've seen him on Def Comedy Jam. Give it up for Reggie Warrington." And then the curtains open up. And it's a guy, and he's got his back turned, and he's like this, right? He's got his back turned. He's got a crazy hat on.
Is this his other character?
He's got a crazy hat on. He's got his shirt tucked into his boxers. He's got his pants completely sagging, like way below his ass, but these boxer briefs are crazy. He's got crazy shoes on. They start playing that James Brown, "Watch me, I got it," right? He turns around. It's a young Dave Chappelle. I know you did. And he steals the whole movie. Okay. So Dave Chappelle, he goes up to and he's dancing. He's doing all this shit.
Yeah.
He's like dancing up to the microphone, doing all that Def Jam shit, right?
Yeah.
And so it cuts back to Sherman, and Sherman's like, whoa, he's animated, isn't he? Right? And he's doing all this dancing. Watch me. He's like, DJ, got it. Yeah. And he goes, what's up? And everyone's like, yeah. And he's like, I said, what's up?
Oh, is he doing stand-up like this?
Yes.
Oh, my God. This is amazing.
This is what's happening.
Oh, my God.
And so he goes, I said, what's up? Everybody goes, yeah, right? And he goes, women be shopping, baby.
Oh, that's where this is from. That's where that's from.
Women be shopping. You can't stop a woman from shopping, right? Yeah. And everybody goes crazy.
Ballistic, yeah.
And then Sherman leans over and goes, women do love to shop. That is true. That's killing Sam. And so he starts roasting the crowd. Starts making fun of the crowd, right? He goes, oh, look at this woman. She's got like a bunch of hair. He's like, look, hair look like a bag of curly fries, right? Yeah. And she's got all this weave. And then everybody laughs. And he's like, look at this white guy. And then the white guy next to her, and he's like, I bet what is a weave exactly? And then the crowd's like dying,
yeah.
And he's doing all this dance and shit after his jokes. Also, every time I watch this, I was like, bro, Dave Chappelle's doing somebody.
Yeah, somebody he saw.
He's doing doing someone he saw. And was like, I know the character to do for this movie.
Yeah. Also, it's dope that he's following Montel.
Oh, God.
Yeah, that's also funny.
It's a great scene, bro. It's young Chappelle, too. It's young Chappelle. It's 96.
Ooh.
So he's doing all this dance and shit. So Sherman's realizing that he's going down the line.
Yeah.
So he's like, he starts panicking in his face, and then he gets up to leave. He's like, I'm going to go to the bathroom. And then right as he gets up, he knocks something over, and he goes to grab it, and he bends down, and then he goes, oh, it's a full moon tonight. And then the crowd, you know what I mean? And then Sherman kind of turns around, and he sits back there. He's like, boy, you got more crack than Harlem. And then the crowd, you know what I mean? And then he's like, okay. And he's like, boy, so fat, I bet every time he turns around, it's his birthday. And then the crowd goes crazy. He does like a full turnaround like that.
Yeah.
The crowd's going crazy, right?
Yeah.
And then Sherman goes, okay, all right, okay, you got me. And he goes, oh, no. Should I get him? And the crowd goes, yeah. And he goes, no. Should I get him? And the crowd's like, yeah. And he goes, oh, look at here. He's got a woman with him, too. Now, who's sucking whose titties over here? And then the crowd goes crazy. And I swear to God, I saw this nigga crawls. He gets on the ground and like crawls all over the ground. Like after the joke hits.
Yeah.
He just crawls in. It makes me laugh every time. And I watched the movie twice.
Yeah.
Recently?
Yeah.
Recently I watched the movie twice. I've laughed both times so hard at that scene.
Oh, that's funny.
Even this morning, dying. Like, he killed it.
You're just making fun of Def Jam.
Dude. Just crawling on the ground after a punchline hits.
Yeah.
So, crowd's going crazy. The sad music starts like playing, like as he's still roasting him.
Yeah.
You know, and he keeps roasting him, right? And you see Sherman, and like Jada Pinkett's all like looking sad for him, and he's kind of got his head down like this, and the sad music's playing. And you see the crowd just dying, laughing, you know, and you hear him going like, "What would you do for a Klondike bar?" You hear that in the background.
Man, he's just going at him,
right? And he's like pretty much crying,
yeah,
bro.
My God,
crowd's loving it. And then in the last line, I remember that it was so funny. He goes, "Now we know who was eating Gilbert Grape." Like, Dave, what the fuck?
Yo, but 96, that reference is hot.
Oh, that reference is fire.
That reference is hot in 96.
So it's like actually really funny. It's still funny. It's still funny now.
Still funny.
I laughed at it still, but I was like, wow.
I've never seen Gilbert Grape, and I was like, that's pretty funny.
It's on our list.
Is it?
Oh, yeah. Love that movie. So, Sherman they leave, right? And they walk home in the rain.
Oh, man.
Of course. They're walking home in the rain to this sad music. And then she's like, thanks for dinner tonight, Sherman. And then she's like, that was really sweet of you. And he's like, oh, you're welcome. And he's got his head down. And then she's like, look, that comic, he was, and she can't get the words. And she's like, Sherman, you're brilliant. And then he just keeps his head low.
Yeah.
And then he holds out his hand. He's like, thank you for the pleasant evening, Carla. And then she like sees his hand, like, and she feels sad and she shakes it. And then he's like, bye. And then she goes to the door and she looks at him sadly and he like walks away in the rain.
Oof. He's feeling it.
Oh, he's feeling it. So he goes home and he's like watching more of the Richard Simmons tapes, right? Mm-hmm. And he's eating ice cream. He's just stuffing ice cream in his face. And then it's Richard Simmons and he's talking to like some fat girl crying on his shoulder, right? And he goes, this is what he says. He says, you ever go to the store and buy one of those candy bags of M&M, and then you eat them all, and then you feel just like that bag, empty inside. And then he comes back to Sherman and he's like, he's just like crying. And then he takes a jar of M&Ms and just eats
pours it in his mouth.
Just all of them in his mouth.
Yeah.
It was like empty inside. It's so funny. So funny when he's doing the Richard Simmons thing. So he falls asleep to ER. He starts watching ER. And then he starts having another nightmare.
Okay.
Where he is now in the ER. He's having the heart attack, like in the ER room.
Right.
So it's cut to, and all the doctors are coming in, and they're freaking out. And then a doctor comes in and goes, we can't stop it. He's getting fatter. And then he starts like getting too fat, like Godzilla big.
Yeah.
And he starts attacking the city as a fat man. And then it shows Dave Chappelle, and he's still roasting him. And he's
That's
like,
funny.
it's King Kong with titties. He's like still dancing. So he's walking around.
That doesn't sound like a bad nightmare.
Not too bad.
Yeah.
He's walking around as King Kong, and he reaches in Jada's like room. She's in
Picks
her
her
room,
up.
and he reaches to grab her like King Kong, but then he reaches past her and just really grabs a chicken wing.
That's funny.
And then he eats it, and then he goes, he grabs his stomach, and then he goes, everybody's like, he's gonna blow, and then he farts.
And it levels the city.
Levels the city like hurricane winds, and his dad's like, that's my boy, get him, son. And then right then a homeless guy like lights a cigarette, and everybody's like, no, and the city explodes. Then he wakes up.
I don't even think that's a nightmare. I'm going to qualify that as a dream I tell people about.
So he goes to the lab, right? And he's all determined, right? And he's hooking himself up to all these wires and monitors. And he goes, Shelly, you've been the guinea pig long enough. He's like, let's see if this stuff really works. And he grabs some blue serum and he drinks it. And he's looking at his body on this like computer screen, and it's like all digitalized like the body. And then he starts choking, and he starts knocking all this shit over, and he falls, and then his body on the screen starts like going like crazy, and then you see it goes DNA reconstruction complete, and then his body on the screen completely shrinks, right? And then you see a hand like come up and like grab the table, right? And then you see a guy get up, and he's got all these big clothes on, and you can't see his face yet, and he's walking up to the mirror, right? And then you see a mirror close, and it's Eddie Murphy.
Yeah.
And he goes, I'm thin, my cheekbones, I got cheekbones. You know what I'm saying? And he's freaking out. He's like, my chest, I ain't got no titties. You know, and he's like, he's freaking out. And he's like, look at my chest. Oh God. He's like, nothing but, and he grabs all his clothes. He's like, nothing but hair there, nothing but hair there. My ass is gone now. And then he looks at his, he goes, I'll be damned. I can see my dick. And then right then, James Brown starts playing that, I feel good. Hey!
Yeah.
And then a montage starts.
Yeah.
You already know, right?
Yeah.
And he goes into the store and he's like, spandex. All spandex. Right? And he just gets all the spandex in the store. Right? And then it shows him on the workout, like a jazzercise thing. And he's on like a jumping thing, like a little jumping trampoline. And he's like, no titties. No titties. No titties. And there's a woman next to him, and he goes, not you, me. He's like, my titties are gone. Your titties are lovely. What's your name? And he's doing like the thing.
Yeah.
Right? And then he's just at a restaurant. Shows him next, he's at a restaurant. And he's eating. He goes, I am thin. God, he's just yelling. It's a full pack restaurant. Hey, y'all ever been thin? Who else is thin here? You ever just been eating and be like, God damn, you thin. He's just like eating food and yelling. And then he goes back to the gym and he's just looking at asses and he's just having like a great time.
Yeah, just enjoying himself.
Yeah, and then he shows him like trying on all these spandex and he's like, Tootsie Roll, and he's fucking dancing and then he's just flexing and then he goes to the top of the school and he's like, I'm thin! I'm thin!
And then he turns fat.
No.
Montage
ends.
Okay,
That's how it ends.
Okay.
So you hear, "Excuse me, Professor Clump," and he's back in the lab, and it's him still. And then he goes, "No, Professor Clump's not here," and then she goes, "Oh," he goes, she goes, "Oh, okay," and he goes, "Oh yeah, he had to take care of some things, Miss Purdy," and she goes, "Oh, how do I know you?" And he goes, "Oh, he didn't." She goes, "Oh, Sherman not tell you about me?" And he goes, "Sherman didn't talk to you. He didn't talk to you about me. You don't know who I am," or something like that. And she's like, "Oh, no, he didn't say anything about you." He's like, "Oh, that's so Sherman." And she goes, "Oh, I just wanted to check on Sherman after the club last night and see if he's okay."
Why is he pretending to be another person?
Because he's crazy.
Yeah.
And he goes, "Oh, Miss Purdy, it tore his chunky ass up, And she goes, and he's like, "I always tell Sherman, you got to strut. You got to suck in your gut and strut. You got to strut, Sherman." And then she goes, "Now me, I don't have that problem, Miss Purdy. That ain't my problem." And then she's looking at him, and he's looking at her. He's like, "God damn, you are too feisty and fine. You know what? We need to hook up. We need to go to the Scream tonight. What do you think?" And then she's like, "I don't even know your name." And then right then a cop walks in, and he's like, "Hey, buddy, what's all this stuff?" Because everything's like destroyed. And then he goes, "Oh, see, everybody knows me. I'm Buddy. That's my name. I'm Buddy. Everybody knows Buddy." And then he tells him what happened. Professor Clump did all this, and then whoop whoop. And then the guy's like, "Okay." And then she goes, she goes, "Well, what's your last name?" And he goes, he looks at her and he goes, "Love. Buddy Love." And then he's talking to her, and he pretty much gets her to go on this date with him.
Right.
And then right as he's convincing her, his voice turns back. He's like, "You see, Miss Purdy, there comes time in a man's life." And I said, "Miss Purdy, there comes time in every man's life." And then right then he's like, "Oh," and then his hand grows back. He's like, "Oh, that's why we need to go to the Scream, and I'll see you tonight at the Scream, 8 p.m. at the Scream. I'll see you at the Scream, okay? The Scream, 8 p.m. And then he rushes her out the office, and then right then he turns back to, to Professor Clump.
Yeah.
Right? And then he goes, "Oh, no," and he rushes to class.
It's like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, but fat people.
You know what's funny? If you look up the description of the movie, it goes, "A Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde." That's how it starts.
Oh.
That's what this movie's supposed to be.
Okay. It took a long time to get to that part.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, well, they do a lot of setup. It's fat comedy.
They do a lot of setup, or just kind of just nothing happens until now.
Nothing happens until now.
Yeah.
They're just letting you know that he's a fat loser.
Yeah. Clearly.
So he goes to the class and he goes, "Good morning, students. Morning. He goes, today we're just going to review. I want you all to review what we went over yesterday." And then somebody goes, "Professor, we weren't here yesterday." And he goes, "Oh, well, review the day before, and tomorrow we'll do today." And then he runs out the class, and he knocks over the M&Ms again. And then right then you see a newspaper come down, and it's the dean. And he's like,
"Yo, dude, principals, deans, they're just shitty detectives."
Every movie, a principal or a dean is just
a shitty detective.
God, I'm so excited about doing another. Oh man, there's another movie we're gonna do soon.
Yeah.
Where this theory, it's like, holy shit, you're right.
At least in comedies.
In comedies,
they're
it's the
detective.
funniest thing for some reason.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but it's the funniest. For some reason, that's the funniest thing. A shitty detective principal.
Yeah. Who's the bad guy? The principal's always got to
be the bad guy. So he leaves, and as he's leaving, Miss Purdy, as he's rushing out, Miss Purdy stops him.
Yeah.
And she goes, "Hey, Professor, I just want to apologize about the club the other night." And he goes, "Oh, don't worry about that. It's all good." And he keeps walking. And she goes, also, I met Buddy Love, and he asked me out on a date. Do you think it'll be okay? Should I go out with him? What do you think? I don't want it to be weird between us. And he's like, "Oh, don't you worry about that, Miss Purdy. It's all good. You go out with him. He's a good guy. But I really got to get going. I got to go." And she's like, "Okay." And then he rushes off. Right?
Okay.
So she's just like, "What? That was weird."
Yeah.
So.
You're feeling the fat?
Oh, yeah.
You're feeling the fat.
Like, oh, God.
Yeah.
So the next scene is Buddy Love, and he's in a red Porsche, and I be stroking, and he's just smiling, and he's looking at himself.
Where the fuck are you getting a Porsche from?
I don't, right?
Yeah.
He's in a red Porsche, right? And he's driving, and he's all happy, and he whips into a spot outside the Scream, like, he slams his brakes into a spot,
yeah,
right? And then he gets out the car, and he's like, "Be careful. Every scratch on that car is a scratch on your ass," right? And he tosses the keys to some guy, and then you see Jada Pinkett, she's looking at him like all crazy, and he goes, "You are too fine to be giving me curbside service." And she goes, "I'm not. I'm leaving." He goes, "Leaving? We just got here." "You just got here. I've been here for an hour." And then she goes to leave, and he goes, "Oh, baby, come on now, come on." And he starts apologizing. He's like, "Oh, come on, don't leave." He's like, "What, you want me begging for all these people? I don't care. I'll beg. I'll get on my knees and beg." And he gets on his knees. He's like, "Hey, I'm begging you. Hey." He's like, I ran out of gas. I hit a deer. I ain't had no clean drawers. Please don't leave me. Please." He starts screaming.
Jesus.
You're right. And he's like, why? Why? He's just like screaming, making like a huge scene. And she's like, okay. And he goes, all right, cool. And then he gets up and he's like, and he walks in all cool. Like nothing happened. You just realize like, oh, the buddy love guy is a lunatic.
Yeah, he's a loser too.
So they cut in and it's like their plates, like it's just like a plate. It's like their table's full of plates.
Yeah.
And she's like 6 T-bones, 5 baked potatoes, and 2 servings of creamed spinach. She's like, how the hell do you eat this much? And then he just keeps eating and stuff. And she's like, oh my God, you're lucky to be so thin. He goes, oh, I'm actually not lucky. And then he tells her like some big scientific explanation to why he's not thin, like why he's so thin.
Yeah.
And then she goes, what does any of that mean? And he goes, hell, I don't know. I was just saying that shit to look smart. Did it work? You know? And then she's just like, oh my God, this guy is a lunatic.
Yeah.
Right? And then right then the host comes back on stage, Doug Williams, and he goes, all right, everybody, back in the house from Def Comedy Jam.
No way.
You know him. You love him.
No way.
Make some noise. Reggie Warrington.
No way.
I got it. Same thing. He's doing the same intro. Same exact intro. Does the same dance to the mic.
That's a very accurate portrayal of stand-up.
Does the same dance to the mic.
Yeah.
And he goes, and so everybody's like, the Eddie Murphy, the Eddie character's just dying. Like, just laughing at his intro, right?
Yeah.
And then Jada Pinkett's like, oh, I hate him. And he goes, oh, shut up and get a nigga a chance. Just a nigga trying to make a living. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then she's like,
Jesus. You talk to your date like that?
Also, he said nigga.
Oh, that's true.
I didn't just riff that.
Okay. Knowing you, I just assumed you riffed it.
I know. No. So he walks up and he goes, Eddie Murphy goes, what's up, nigga? He's like, and he goes, I'm just a squirrel in your world trying to get a nut, baby, or some shit, like just yelling at him, right? And then the Reggie guy goes, what's up? And he goes, what's up, nigga? And then Reggie goes, I said, what's up? He's like, nigga, didn't you hear me when I said, hey? It's Eddie yelling back at him. And then Chappelle goes, man, women be shopping, baby. Women be shopping.
Oh my God, this is how it's so crazy.
It's amazing
how this is the most accurate portrayal.
Really
God,
good.
My God, not even acknowledging the heckler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he goes, look at this white guy. He's like, look at this white guy. Can't tell me he ain't got a small Jimmy. And the crowd starts dying, right?
Yeah.
And then Eddie's screaming, laughing like, ah, 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 ah. And so the guy, he tries to go into his next joke. He's like, and you know, women, and you hear Eddie, ah, ah. And he goes, brother, you got to calm down, brother. And then Eddie's like, oh, 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 oh. And he has to give himself like the Heimlich and he shoots like a piece of meat out his mouth. He's like, ah, you almost killed me, Reggie. You almost killed me. You're too funny. You're too funny, man. And he's like, okay, brother, you gotta, just relax. Just, he's like, calm down, man. And he goes, no, Reggie, it's just, man, I'm so impressed the way you take somebody's, personal defect and then you flip it on them. It's like when you say, hey, look at that guy's foot and then everybody looks at the foot. I'm telling you, man, that shit's funny. You funny, man. You on your way. You going to the top. Reggie, you're the next Lenny Bruce, man. He's just yelling at him, right? And he's like, okay, thank you, brother. Just, I appreciate you liking Reggie's show. He's like, Reggie, that'd be like if I did it to you, right? That'd be like if I said, hey, everybody look at Reggie's teeth. It's like his mother and Mr. Ed had an affair. And then the crowd starts laughing. Yeah. And then Reggie's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, how did you let this happen, Reggie?
Yeah.
At a certain point, you should have cut him off.
You should have cut him, but then everybody
you can't let him
laughing.
get full sentences off.
And he's like, see, Reggie, look, now everybody's laughing because they visualizing your mother and Mr. Ed going, he's just doing all this shit, bro. And the crowd's dying.
Yeah. Oh.
And then he goes,
that's amazing.
Oh, bro, this
character
amazing.
Is really good.
And he goes, wait a minute. You snapping on Reggie? And he goes, Reggie, it's your teeth. I don't know whether to smile at you or kick a field goal. And the crowd, and he goes, it's good, Reggie. Hey, it's all good. And then he's like, what the fuck? Reggie's just kind of looking around.
Yeah.
And he goes, oh, you done did it now, boy. Maybe it's time for Reggie to talk about your mama. And the crowd goes, oh. And he goes, don't hurt me, Reggie. And he goes, no, maybe it's time for Reggie to talk about your mama a little bit. And he goes, all right, Reggie, what you gonna do? And he goes, your mother is so fat. She went to Sizzler and the bitch got a group discount. And he starts doing all his dances.
Silence.
And it got laughs. It got like laughs, right?
Yeah.
But then Eddie does the thing where he's like, just for way too long. Like 2 minutes, dog. He's like screaming over the chair.
And Jada's just uncomfortable.
Jada's just looking at him like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Reggie, by the way, the whole time Eddie's laughing, screaming, Reggie keeps dancing.
Yeah.
Really funny.
Yeah, that's funny.
So then he goes, okay, fat jokes. You want to do fat jokes? All right. And Eddie gets up and he goes, your mother's so fat. The bitch need a Thomas guide to find the asshole. Crowd goes crazy. I didn't know any of those references either. Don't worry.
Jesus. Thomas guide?
He said, she's so fat. After sex, I rolled over twice and I was still on the bitch. By the way, he's saying all these bitches and niggas. He said this.
Okay.
Exactly.
I figured at this point.
You know?
Dude, kids' movies were better.
Oh, yeah, this is just a way better.
Yeah.
The mother's so fat, the bitch get her toenails done at Earl Shine. Earl Shine. And he comes up on the stage, and Reggie's like, man, get off the stage. You ain't no entertainer. And then he's like, your mother's so fat, her belt size is equator. The bitch is fat. Like, the crowd is losing their shit.
Yeah, if you're an audience member at the show, you're seeing one of the greatest things you've ever seen.
Yeah, you saw an audience member win.
Not only win, but like get up there and then do
Be good at it.
Incredibly well. Like that's you're seeing a miracle happen.
So Reggie goes, enough! Silence! I can't take this shit no more.
Also, as a door guy, I'm like, what are the fucking workers at the club doing?
Laughing.
Get them the fuck out of there.
I think you're just like, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening.
Yeah, I guess I'm much more of a killjoy than you. My personality is, get them, what the fuck?
So he goes, you know, I think it's time for Reggie to karate-size your ass. I tried to be peaceful. And he takes his like hat off, and he's got the most ridiculous dreadlocks you've ever seen. And then Eddie Murphy's like, Reggie, I've heard of dreadlocks, but shitlocks? And he goes, all right, come on, motherfucker. And then Eddie Murphy's like, okay. And then Eddie Murphy just easily handles him.
Yeah.
Like easily just hits him, beats him up, and then he smashes his head on the piano.
Jesus.
Oh, yeah. Smashes it on the piano, and he goes, everybody, Reggie and I would like to do a little song for a special lady in the house tonight. And he starts playing the piano, and he goes, loving you is easy because you're beautiful. And then he looks at Jay, and he goes, doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. And he grabs Reggie's hand, and he like cracks it, and he goes, Reggie. And Reggie goes, oh. He goes, Reggie has left the building, everybody. And he throws him in the piano, and the crowd like stands up and applauds. And then he walks back to his seat, like, and everybody cheers for him. And they just let that happen.
Yeah. My God. Also, I can't believe Jada stayed for the whole thing.
Oh, yeah. So he goes back to her, and she goes, you were amazing.
That's
oh, my
fair.
God.
That's fair.
He goes,
That's
amazing. It's my
impressive.
middle name, baby. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was pretty amazing.
That's impressive.
And then she goes, oh, man, I just wish Sherman was here to see that. I wish he could have been here for that. And he goes, let's not ruin the night's talk with, let's not ruin the night with talks to Sherman, And then she goes, it's something about you, about your eyes. When I look in them, there's just something that's so familiar. And then right then he kisses her. They start making out.
Yeah.
And then he leans back. And he's like, Miss Purdy, those lips are the sexiest lip. He goes, I said, Miss Purdy, those lips are sexy. And then his lip goes like that. And she goes, oh, your lip. Oh, my God, your lip. And he goes, oh, shit. What kind of lipstick do you have on? And she's like, Chanel. He's like, oh, yeah, this happens when I put on Chanel lipstick. And then he goes, oh, and then his stomach goes, and he goes, oh, Chanel gives me gas, too. I got to get out of here. Here's my car. Just pay for everything. I got to go. And then he storms off, right? And she's like, oh, but buddy. And he runs off. And so she gives the car to the waiter. The waiter goes back to cash it. And then right then he's about to do it. And then the white guy assistant is also at the club.
Yeah.
The guy who looks like Howard Stern.
Yeah.
And he notices the card. And because the guy says Sherman Klump, he goes, oh, Sherman Klump. Like, oh, the professor's here? And he turns around and he goes, oh, where's Sherman Klump? And he tells the waiter, and the waiter goes, oh, it's that guy right there running out. And he goes, oh, that's not Sherman Klump. He's that guy stole his card. And so he starts running after him, right? So the professor, Buddy Love hops in the Porsche, and he's about to start driving. And then right then the assistant gets in. He goes, hey, you're not the professor. Who are you? And then he looks at him, and he sees his body like kind of going through the weird morphing phase.
Yeah.
And he goes, oh, I'm sorry, man. Looks like you're going through some real shit.
Yeah.
And then right then his foot gets too fat and like slams on the gas because he's too big for the car.
Yeah.
And then the door shuts, and then they start speeding off.
Together.
Yeah, they're just speeding out down the highway because now he's too fat for the car.
Yeah.
And they're like, ah! And then he's screaming, and he looks at him, he's like, dude, stop the car, please. And then he looks at him again, and he goes, Jason? And then he goes, Professor? And then they just start and then he grows like all the way to his normal self, and then the car tires just explode, and then he spins like out of control into a stop in the freeway, right?
Yeah.
And then they have to get the jaws of life to get him out.
If I were him, I would keep a little bit of that serum on me at all times.
Right? If you're gonna tamper with it.
Yeah.
But anyway.
At that point.
So the next morning, Sherman runs to class, right? And the Dean Richards is there, right? And nobody's in the class. And he's like, where's my class? And he's like, the class left 20 minutes ago. And then the dean goes, I need you to explain something to me, Mr. Klump. Why would you think it would be okay to put a $47,000 luxury car on your faculty fund? And he's like, they didn't have the Toyota Camry, so I figured, the next best thing. And then he's like, you know what, Mr. Klump?
That explains the Porsche. Jesus.
Yeah. And the dean, they kind of just laugh about it together.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, wow, gotta be honest, Dean Richard, I thought you'd be a little more upset about this. Figured you'd yell at me and curse at me and even possibly fire me. And he goes, oh, no, I got bigger fish to fry, Klump. He said, Harlan Hartley's coming, and he's gonna be at a dinner tonight, and he's expecting you to impress him to get the $10 million grant. And I know for a fact that you are gonna deliver, Klump. You're gonna kill it. And he goes, oh, well, thank you. He goes, I appreciate you having so much, pride in me, and I promise you I won't let you down. And he goes, oh, I know you won't let me down. Do you want to know how I know you won't let me down, Klump? He goes, how's that? He's because if you mess up in any way, I'm going to kill you. And that's not a euphemism. I'm going to choke you until you run out of air. And I'm going to watch you die. And he's like, okay. And he's like, okay. And then they leave.
Yeah.
And that's it. And he's like, all right.
Good scene.
So the professor next, he's talking to his assistant who's freaking out on him, like, yo, what about what he did last night? And he's like, sir, the data, with Shelley is compelling enough. You didn't have to take the serum yourself. Why would you risk yourself like that? And he's like, oh, I did it for Miss Purdy. And he's like, yeah, but just tell Carla, if you really like her, tell her how you feel. Don't be this other person. He's like, and you can't keep doing this. This guy's testosterone levels are dangerous. Like, he's getting a little crazy. Yeah. And he was like, oh, don't, he's like, I know, but he's like, I'm sorry, Jason. It's just the way people talk to Buddy Love and the way people treat him. I've never had that before. He's like, and also, I've never been in love.
I feel you, Nutty Professor. I feel you.
Make you do some stuff.
Yeah, I gotta take some magic poison drink, apparently.
So Sherman walks up on Carla in the park. She's in the park reading, and he asks how things are going with Buddy. And she says, what happened, and he tells her, how, he's fine now, but he tells her, she tells him everything that happened, and he tells her, well, Buddy's that kind of guy. He's an unreliable guy. You can't really depend on him. And she's like, oh, I feel stupid. And then she thinks more about how Buddy ditched her. And then he apologizes and says it's his fault. He shouldn't have hooked her up in the first place. And then she's like, okay, well, I think I'm going to leave. And he goes, well, before you go, I think, if you were going to eat later and if you wanted to possibly eat with me, and I have a family, and then, and
he invites her to family dinner.
He's like, would you like to come to a family dinner? And then she's like, Sherman, I'd love to. And he goes, oh, okay, great. And she's like, should we call and make sure there's going to be enough food? And he's like, that won't be a problem. And then the next scene, it's like a close-up of her and just all the food getting passed in front of her. And she's like, just disgusted. She's like, what the fuck?
That's insanity.
So the grandma immediately asks her, so baby, are you and Sherman having relations? And then she's like, oh, Grandma, don't worry about that. And she's like, ain't nothing wrong with having a relation. Relations is beautiful. If a gentleman were to take me to dinner and take me to a movie and get me some candy, I was going to take him upstairs and give him relations. That's just how that works, baby. And everybody's just looking at her like, what the fuck?
Crazy woman.
And then she's like, and then Sherman's looking all embarrassed. She's like, Sherman, relations is a lovely thing. You know that. And then she goes, even sometimes when I'm alone, I like to relate to myself. And then the dad's like, I don't want to hear that shit. I'm eating, goddammit.
Yeah.
And then she goes, I'll kill you, Cletus. Kill you, nigga. She's just whispering it like that. And then the grandma goes, you guys thinking of having babies? And then the brother's like, yeah, you got good hips. You got them birthing hips, And then Sherman's just like this. He hasn't said anything. Yeah. He hasn't said one word. He's just, he can't believe any of this is happening, right?
Yeah.
And then the dad's like, I ain't paying for no big-ass wedding. You get some babies. Just know that. And then the grandma's like, well, you can wear my wedding dress, baby, but it's white. Can you wear a white wedding dress?
What does that even mean?
Are you a virgin? And then she said, because Sherman can wear white. She was like, and then she starts talking about how hard Sherman would come if she fucked him. She was like, he a 35-year-old man, baby. It's all that pent up and all that want. I'm telling you, it'll blow your head off. And then his brother goes, pop goes the weasel.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah. And then it shows Sherman, and he's thinking about cutting his wrist. Yeah. He has a knife, and he's crying and thinking about cutting his wrist. It's a really funny because he's just like, what the fuck this, you know? And so that's all going on. And then the mom and dad start arguing, and then, of course, the dad starts farting. And then the scene ends.
And Sherman doesn't say a word.
Never says one word. He doesn't get one word out the entire dinner. It's so funny. It's a really funny scene. It's a really funny scene. So it cuts to them walking home, and he's apologizing for his family. And she's like, no, don't apologize for them. They were fine. She's like, I'm sorry I seem so distant. I got Buddy Love on my mind. I can't get him off. And then she goes, he's like, oh, is that so? You can't get Buddy off your mind, huh? She's like, on the outside, he's so cocky and brash, but when I look in his eyes, there's something so soft and familiar, and I want to get to know that guy, which is Sherman.
Yeah, obviously. Thank you, Deric. I almost missed that. I was like, oh, who's the other guy? What happened? I have no movie comprehension.
So
fuck you.
Sherman, she says, I'm sorry I keep talking about Buddy. He says, don't worry about it. He says, I'm going to find Buddy for you. Don't worry. I'm going to get him to talk to you, right? And she says, oh, thanks for being such a good friend to me, Sherman. And then she kisses
of course, Sherman can't see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She kisses him on the cheek, right? He just can't see what she really wants.
Yeah.
So the assistant is in the lab working on stuff late, and he hears like a crash. What the fuck is that? And then he goes and he sees, and it's Buddy Love, and he's in the professor's clothes, and he's like, what's up? Never seen a black man in a circus tent? Because he's got all these huge clothes on.
Yeah.
And he goes, what, brother can't go camping? And he starts like doing all this shit, right? And then he goes, Professor, we agreed you weren't going to do this anymore. And he goes, he's like, Jason, he's like, I thought we were going to do this. He's like, oh, don't worry. He's like, get out of my face, man. And then the guy gets in front of him. He goes, Professor, I can't let you do this. If you're in there, if you can hear me, you have to control him. And then the Buddy Love goes, Jason, it's me talking from deep down inside. Buddy Love, you gotta go to the back storage closet and get the serum. It's on the top shelf. Hurry, Jason, hurry. I can't control it much longer. And then he goes, oh, Professor, all right. And he runs and he goes to the back closet. And then, of course, right when he does, Buddy closes the door and he goes, I got you now, hamster boy. Professor! Right?
Yeah.
And he runs off.
Right.
You know, pretty funny. Good stuff. Good. You've seen this comedy before.
Have I?
So the next scene, Carla comes home and it's a bunch of flowers. Like her house is from the door to the room. There's no walking space. All flowers.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
And then there's a
one
card.
Of those.
Yeah, it's a card. And then she reads it and it's like, from Buddy Love, sorry I was so distant. Have dinner with me tonight at this time. You know what I mean? And then she's like, P.S. Here is a picture of me. Here's a wallet-sized picture of me so you can always have me. And then it's a picture of Eddie Murphy like that.
Yeah.
And she laughs and she's like, oh, right? And then he takes her to a really fancy hotel and they're walking in. And then he goes, she's like, oh, buddy, this is so nice. He's like, yeah, baby, let me just go grab the room key. She goes, hold up, room key? She's like, I just said we were going to have a nice dinner. Who said anything about a room? He's like, oh, baby, what kind of person do you think I am? He's like, I just don't want to have dinner with all these strangers around. I don't want to share you with all these strangers. He's like, I need you to myself. He's like, I always want to respect you. I'm a puppet dog. He says it just like that.
And it works.
It works. She goes, all right. And then he goes to get the key. So right then the dean comes over and he sees Jada and he's like, Carla, have you seen Sherman? I can't find Sherman. His meeting is with Hartley and he's late. And she's like, no, I don't know where Sherman is. And she's like, but Buddy's here, Buddy Love, and he has all Sherman's research. Maybe he can do what you need. And then right then Buddy walks up and the principal's like, who is this man? Can you do, Sherman's research? And then he's like, Sherman's research? I am Sherman's research. And Jada's like, Buddy, don't say that. And he's like, what? It's the truth. I am. And he's like, well, come over and help me come get this grant. And the job of Sherman Clumps is yours. He's like, okay. And then she's like, like this, and then she's like, all right. Now he's like, he looks at her, he's like, now you made me do this, okay? Just know that. He's like, now I'm gonna go get this grant, and then when I come back, I'm gonna take you to the room. And he's like, God, he keeps looking at me, he's like, oh, you're so cute. I bet you got a thong on made of licorice, don't you? And she's like, and then he wins her back over again.
Yeah.
Keeps winning her over.
Yeah, because he's still Sherman on the inside.
Sherman on the inside.
Yeah.
Right? So he walks over to the big Hartley guy and he takes Buddy Love over and he's like, well, this must be Hartley. And he goes, yeah, well, you better be Clump. And he goes, no, this is better, even genius. This is the genius mind behind Clump, the man who knows everything. This is Professor Buddy Love. And then he goes, all right, Buddy Love, you have 1 minute to show me your research. And he goes, no, Rockefeller, you have 1 minute to listen. And then he writes a theorem out on the board. And then he goes, all right, now let me put this in rich dummy terms for all you rich dummies in the room. And then everybody starts looking at him, right? And he goes, if you're going to eat, and he holds up a pork chop, these delicious little juicy pork chops, and you're going to put them in nobody, just know there's a chemical in these pork chops that makes it go straight to your ass. Okay? Now look at this woman. And he holds up a woman's arms. He's like, look at her arms. And he shakes them. It's like, this is called Jell-O arms. You don't want this. And then he goes to another big woman. He's like, this woman is suffering from what I like to call tank ass. And he like holds her up.
Jesus.
Right? And he goes, now, I am creating a serum, and if you want to do, like, if you want the serum that I'm creating, you will have, and he holds up another beautiful woman. He goes, what I like to call a gluteus, a maximus. And then everybody starts clapping for him. Right?
Right. Psychopath.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
And then there's all these other beautiful women at the table, and he goes, ooh, this is the nice ass table. I'm going to sit down at the nice ass table with the nice asses. And then he sits down, and the dean is like, I'm sorry, so sorry. I don't know what this man is or what he's talking about. And then the Hartley guy's like, he's a genius. And he's like, you're right, he is a genius. Yeah. And he goes, tell him to have the serum ready by tomorrow night, and the money's yours. And he's like, deal. And then he goes and he tells Buddy that the job is his, and that Sherman's job is his, and that the grant would be, the $10 million grant is theirs. All he has to do is prove the serum tomorrow night. Buddy's like, cool, right? Mm-hmm. So it cuts to the bathroom, and in the bathroom, those nice girls with the nice asses, they're all talking. Yeah. And they're talking about how Buddy Love told him that he can handle all three of them.
Damn.
Right? But Jada Pinkett is in the stall. So she hears all this. So she comes out, and she sees Buddy, and he's like, are you ready to go to our room? And she slaps him. And he's like, I guess not. He's like, hey, baby, what are you leaving for? What's all that? She's like, I heard you tell those other girls that you can handle all three of them, so go handle them. And he's like, fine, I don't need you anyway. More titties for me. And then the girls come up to him. He's like, Lou, look at that. I had 2 titties. Now I got 6 titties.
Says titties?
Yeah. So he's back at his place, right? And he goes back and he's throwing just a wild party.
Right.
And they're burning like books, like all those
They're burning books?
Richard Simmons, like the book, like all these like different workout books and healthy videotapes. They're just burning all that shit.
Oh,
and
God.
They're like, the roof is on fire. I'm going
to love him turning fat soon.
Oh, God, it's great.
It's going to be great. I can already tell.
So they cut to the next morning.
Right.
Jada comes over and the place is demolished, right? Mm-hmm. And she's like, Sherman, Sherman, right? And then Sherman wakes up and he's in bed with all 3 of the women. And he's like, oh shit. You know what I mean?
And he's fat.
He's fat.
Yeah.
And so he comes out and then she's like, hey, did you throw a party last night? And he's like, oh no, my cleaning lady didn't come over. And she's like, oh, is she dead? And then she says how she needs to talk to him. He's like, oh, but I gotta get you out of here. We'll go talk somewhere else. She's like, no, you gotta know, Buddy Love, he's a pig and a monster. And last night, I didn't mean to do this, but he took your deal with Hartley, and I think he's trying to take your job. And then right then, one of the girls comes out, and she goes, what's this? And he turns around, he's like, oh, that's, he goes, oh, wow, so this is what you and Buddy do? You just share girls? And he's like, oh, no, let me explain. She's like, I thought you were different. And then she goes to storm out. And she's like, I can't believe I came over here feeling sorry for you. And he goes, oh, but please. And then right then she leaves, right? And she storms off. And he goes, Carla. And then right then the Jason guy runs up and he goes, Professor, we got to go back to the school. He's like, I don't have time to go back to school. He's like, Professor, we have to go to the school now. And they get to the school. And then right then the dean is taking his name off and putting Buddy Love up. Like off the door.
Right.
You know? And he goes, you're fired. And he tells him like, not only are you going to can you not get a job here ever again, I'm going to make sure you can never get a job in this state, in this country, in the world, perhaps the universe, unless it's on planet Fat. And then he storms off. So Sherman goes back to his house.
What a terrible line.
Yeah. He goes back to his house and he's sad and he's eating ice cream again. He's watching the Richard Simmons tapes. And Buddy cut one of the tapes. So he's watching one and his buddy goes, hey, fat ass, wasn't expecting me, were you? And he's like, didn't you just have the time of your life last night? He's like, don't you want to have more of that? Well, you got to drink more of that serum, baby. He's like, you got to go and drink the serum. You know, and then right then those 3 girls like run by the camera. And he's like, you see, Sherman, you got to go down to the laboratory and you got to make more. You want to know why? Because you can't beat me. You can't beat me, Sherman. You can't beat me. And he's laughing like that, like a crazy guy. And Sherman's like, yes, I can, right? So Sherman goes to the lab.
This movie is wild.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Sherman goes to the lab and he tells Jason he's like, I'm going to the ball tonight, Jason, and I'm going to reclaim my life, you know? And he starts pouring all the blue mix down the drain. And then the Jason guy's like, yeah, you get him, Professor, right? So then it cuts to the party. The big ball, the final party, right?
Right.
And Dean says, and it's the Dean, he's saying, he's greeting everybody at the party, and then he sees Hartley and he freaks out because Buddy Love's in there.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh shit, where's Buddy Love? You know? And then the Hartley guy.
Also, for the Dean to just accept that this random dude works here now, too.
Good point.
I didn't think this when you said this earlier, but like now I really think this. Like, what? You don't know where he's from?
Didn't ask.
He's just some guy
who knows all the things.
Yeah. And you're just like, yeah, I'll hire him. yeah, this dude that
got me out of this situation.
Yeah.
So the Hartley guy says he's got the $10 million check on him, you know, and then he's like, all right. He's like, but I need to see the serum works before you get any of this money. And the guy's like, oh, where's Buddy, right?
Yeah.
So right then, it cuts to, at the ball, Sherman's mom and dad were at the party.
Yeah.
Right? And they see Carla and they're like, hey, Carla, what are you doing here? And then they're like, she's like, oh, just, here for the, the gala thing, whatever. Why are you guys here? And they're like, oh, Sherman invited us. And she's like, oh, okay. And she goes, I got to ask you something. The mom goes, I got to ask you something. Has Sherman been acting different lately, honey? And then she goes, yeah, Sherman's been acting a little strange. And then she goes, oh, I knew it. She goes, see, Cletus, I told you Sherman was acting weird. And he goes, you think I be listening to you? Woman, I don't be listening to you. And then he keeps complaining about how the finger foods suck. And he just storms off complaining about the finger foods.
That's funny. Those side characters are really funny.
Oh, they're killing. He's killing it as a side mom and dad.
Yeah.
So, and then it cuts back to them in the lab, and he goes, I'll tell you this, Jason, no more magic drink is changing my life. I'm done with that, okay? He's like, from now on, it's going to be hard work and self-discipline and plenty of these. And he holds up, it's a mega shake. And he's like, goodbye, buddy love. Hello, mega shake. And he drinks the mega shake, and he goes, and then it drops, and it's all the blue liquid. And Buddy Love
had put it in there.
So,
Buddy,
yeah,
bastard.
He jumps up and he goes, I lost 400 pounds in 4 seconds. Thanks, Mega Shake. Right?
Into the camera?
Yeah, right into the camera.
There
right?
it is.
And then he's like, the Jason guy's like, you tricked him. And he's like, you're damn right I did, hamster boy. He's like, I knew Sherman would go soft on me. Ha 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 ha. And he's like, now I got all the, he's like, I did my calculations, and he's doing all the things. He's like, if I drink just enough of this, I'll get rid of Sherman's fat ass forever. And he goes, if you drink that much serum, you'll kill yourself. He's like, no, but if I drink half now and half later, I'll be fine. And then he goes, punches the shit out of him, right? And he storms off.
Yeah.
And he goes, now I don't have to turn into a clumpkin at midnight, motherfucker, or some shit like that. And he leaves.
Yeah.
So Buddy walks into the party, the big ball, and he's literally, his testosterone levels are, he's just screaming. He walks in going, yeah, 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 just screaming like that, right? He's like, this ain't no party. Y'all ain't got no peach cobbler. He's just like yelling shit.
Just random shit.
Yeah, so the dean comes up to him and he starts yelling up, and he's like, where have you been? You had Hartley waiting for 10 minutes. He's like, you're lucky I don't fire you. And he goes, hey, slaps him. He goes, shut up. You don't talk to me like that. I ain't Professor Clump. He goes, if you ever scream at me like that again, I'll kill you. And that ain't no euphemism. I'll cut off your air supply and I'll kill you. You know?
It says the exact same thing back.
And the dean's like, what the fuck? Right? He goes, all right, now let's go make this money. Yeah, baby. Yeah. And he just keeps screaming all the way up to the stage, right?
Yeah.
And so he goes up to the stage and he goes, y'all know me. So he's looking at the crowd. He goes, everybody gather around. Y'all know me. Y'all know me. And then the dad's like, no, I don't know that fool.
Yeah.
And he keeps screaming, y'all know me. I know y'all know me. He's like, I don't know that nigga. He says like that. And then he goes, oh, and then his alarm goes off on his thing, like beep, 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 beep. And he goes, oh, right on schedule. And then right then his stomach blows up. And he goes, hey, Hartley, how's this for a demonstration? And he drinks the blue serum and he goes, it goes right back in him.
Yeah.
And everybody's like, everybody freaks out.
That's crazy.
And he goes, all right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm about to make a 400-pound man disappear forever. And he takes a bunch of the blue serum and he's about to drink it. And then right then the Jason guy runs in. He goes, stop! Everybody stop! This ends now! And he jumps up on the stage. He goes, this man is trying to kill Sherman Clump. And everybody goes, oh! And then the mom and dad go, I'm glad I brought my knife. I'm so glad I brought my knife, baby. And he goes, yeah, I got my pistol on me. And then he goes, Buddy, the Jada goes, Buddy, where's Sherman? And he goes, don't worry about Sherman. And he punches the guy, and he knocks him down. Yeah. And he goes, I'm getting rid of Sherman forever. And right when he's about to drink the drink, the white guy pops back up and he goes, no, I don't think so. And he punches him back and it barely like he goes, like shit, like fucking hurts his hand.
Yeah.
And he goes, you just don't know when to quit, do you? And then right then his alarm goes off and he's about to punch the white guy and his hand goes really big and it stops. He's, you know?
Yeah.
And then right then his face turns to Sherman.
Yeah.
You know? And then the mom passes out. Just passes out, right? And then he goes, not today, sucker. And then he goes, Sherman. And then they start fighting. He punches himself.
Yeah.
And they start fighting
each other.
Wow,
this is amazing.
Right? And so he's morphing back and forth. I know, buddy.
Way better than anything I could have imagined.
Very original comedy.
My God, yes, mad
original. Very original.
Yeah.
Also, I'm thinking about oh wow, nobody read the script yet.
Yeah,
so,
this is crazy.
Yeah.
This is crazy. Just to make a fat Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde?
Well, it came from a Jerry Lewis movie, but I've never seen the Jerry Lewis one, so it could be.
Oh, was there a Nutty Professor?
It was a Jerry Lewis, but I don't know if it's the same storyline. I don't know if they went with this story. You know what I mean?
Yeah, could you even do that way back when?
I don't know. And I know Jerry Lewis wasn't saying nigga this much. Or was he?
Was he? It was around that time.
And he's pretty funny.
Yeah, it's the funniest word.
So he's fighting himself, and his body's like morphing back and forth, right? And then he's like, "Don't!" And then and then it cuts to Eddie Murphy, and he's like, "Fat ass!" And he punches himself, and then it cuts back to Sherman. He's like, "Tinkerbell!" And he punches himself. You know what I mean? And he's talking shit. He's like, "You can't beat me!" And then it cuts to the dad, and he's like, "This is some scary shit." And he comes back to Sherman. He's like, "Yes, I can." And then he turns back to Buddy, and Buddy's like, "Everything's going dark. I'm getting fat. I can feel it. I'm blubberizing." He said something like that. And he goes, Sherman, no matter what, you got to strap. And then he starts morphing like crazy.
Yeah.
Right? And his mom passes out again. Like she gets back and passes out again.
That's funny.
And then the dad goes, all right, now come on now. I ain't gonna be picking your big ass up all night, all right? Shit. You're too big for this. He's picking her up. And so right then he finally morphs back to Sherman, right? Completely. Mm-hmm. And then he's looking at the crowd and everybody's like, and he's like, give me a minute and I'll explain. It's like, he looks at Jada and he goes, I was just a desperate man. He's like, and what I did was wrong. He's like, Buddy's what I thought the whole world wanted me to be, and he's what I thought I wanted to be, And I learned one thing from Buddy, and that's you can't be happy with how much you weigh. It's all about being happy with yourself. And he goes, I'm sorry, everybody. And he leaves the party, right? And he's walking away, and then you hear somebody go, Sherman!
It's Jada.
Sherman! Wait a minute. Why did you lie to me, Sherman? He goes, I liked you so much, and I'm a big man. And I'm coming to realize that, and
I'm coming to realize.
Yeah, he's like, if you have to accept me for who I am, and more importantly, I have to accept myself for who I am. And she goes, Sherman, I don't have a date for this dance. You want to dance with me? And then right there, his assistant comes up, and he goes, I thought you might need this, and it's an extra tux, right? It's an extra tux for him.
Yeah, you know how it is.
I forgot to mention, he did grab it when he ran out.
Okay.
He did grab it when he ran to go save him at one point. So they do show that. And then it shows like Sherman back at the party, and he's like dancing with her, right? And he's dancing with her, and then it cuts to the Hartley guy, and he's like, I'm gonna give him the grant. He's a gentleman and a scholar, and the dean's like all happy and stuff. And then it cuts to his mom, and she's like, oh, look at my baby, Sherman, and then it cuts, and he's like, yeah. He's just dancing, he's screaming, and still on the dance floor.
Yeah.
And then they start doing like the bump. Like that kind of dance, and then he knocks her like way too far.
Yeah.
And then the music stops, and then he goes and he grabs her and he gets her up, and then they both start laughing. Like that. And then they do a spin move, and it freeze frames, and you're macho man. I've got to be a macho man. And the blooper reel starts.
Oh, this is one of
We're not done, Baba.
Fuck yeah. All right, what are the bloopers?
So all the fart bloopers.
Gefilte fish.
Right? Gefilte fish line. So they do the fart bloopers first, like them at the table, and he can't get through a scene without laughing.
That's my favorite part of the movie.
It's going to be the best part. He's just dying, getting through the scene, trying to like not laugh, right?
Yeah.
And they're all good. And it's just then all at the dinner table bloopers. And then like one of them's like, the dad's like, one time, I seen, when Sherman was a young man, I seen him get so hungry, he beat up a grown man. And then he starts like laughing.
Yeah.
And then it cuts to the grandma, and she's like, come on, Cletus. No, come on, Cletus. No, walk your ass over here. No, come on, Cletus. And she takes off like her glasses. She's like, no, come on. And she takes her wig off. Yeah. Come on, Cletus. Takes like the whole mask off. And then it's just Eddie, and he's just like laughing. And then the credits roll, and that's the Nutty Professor, everybody.
Whew. The whole thing was just one Theo Von joke. That's how I felt. I was like, oh my God, it's a journey. I did not see this coming.
Right?
Yeah.
It's so great how you didn't know anything about the Nutty Professor.
That's crazy. Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Mm-hmm. I would have never in a million years have guessed that.
You're welcome, Beaners.
See you next week.